Hello everyone, welcome to Court with Krissy. This bench trial, it's a little bit long, but you really want to watch everyone take the stand, including the defendant, who, by the way, her name is Bertha, but they call her Ellen. This aunt has an agenda today. She wants this defendant in jail. I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
Stable Law versus Bertha Ramey, case number CRB 26233 A and B, CRB 22262.
Mr. Stratton, please just
stick for trial.
Hello, how you doing?
Mr. Field, I don't believe you're going to have a trial on the theft case, is that correct? You're going to dismiss that?
Yeah, Your Honor, there is a theft charge from 2022 that we're not able to proceed on. We don't have the evidence anymore.
Which case number? 262, 262?
Yes.
Okay. That was a Walmart theft charge. So that will be Nollig.
John not here.
Yes.
So that leaves us with 26233 AB. So that's what we're going to trial on.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and that is domestic violence is the B case, and the A case is domestic violence. So 2 counts of domestic violence. Correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So you wish to make statements?
Your Honor, if it pleases the court, I have here Connie Jones and
Two choices.
I'm sorry, John Jones and Connie Reed, and they are who we believe to be the victims of a domestic violence incident that took place on April 24th of this year. And interestingly enough, the officer who's here, Officer Woodyard, was wearing a body camera and actually kind of ran into the tail end of the incident. And so I think we have a very strong case that this occurred, and I think it's pretty egregious what actually transpired. Mr. Jones ended up on the floor because he was pushed out of his chair, thrown out of his chair. So we take this very seriously.
Mr. Stratton, you wish to make any statement?
Do I?
You wish to make an opening statement?
No, Your Honor, but we moved to separate witnesses.
All right, so I'll sustain that. So if you have witnesses, each party gets to have one representative sit with them at the chair, at council's chair. Otherwise, stay outside the courtroom until you're actually called. The reason for that is we want you to tell us what you know, not what you've heard another person testify to. So separation of witnesses.
So does that go for the victims also? Do they have to sit outside, or how does that?
There are 2 cases, so yeah, they can stay, but anybody else would have to stay outside.
So
Are we ready to proceed?
we're ready.
Proceed.
Yes, we're ready.
Okay, call your first witness.
We'll call Connie Reed, please. Step right up there.
And if you come to the first chair, to your left, before you sit down, raise your right hand. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I will.
You may be seated.
Connie, tell the court your name.
My name is Connie J. Reed, R-E-E-D.
Are you living at,
Yes,
and was there an incident there on April 24th of this year involving you and Bertha Ramey?
yes,
Do you see Bertha Ramey in the courtroom?
yes.
If you do, can you point to her, please?
Okay.
Record will show she pointed to the defendant.
So what's your relation to Bertha Ramey?
My brother, she's my niece by marriage, and her mother passed away, which that's another story in itself, too.
Okay, so you've had a long-standing relationship with Bertha Ramey John Jones,
Yes,
what's his relation to you?
he's my brother.
Now, on April 24th, 2026, were you residing in that home?
I had come up there to stay for a couple days, and then he asked me to move in, that he feared for his life, that Ellen was very mean to him. They barely fed him. I mean, he got 1 meal a day, whether it be 11 or 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning.
That's what I said.
And
You have to stop. Go ahead.
Just answer the question, though, don't go on and on, just answer what he asked you.
You said Ellen, is that what Bertha goes
we all call
by?
her Ellen, yes.
All right.
So Bertha is also known as Ellen?
Yes.
Ellen?
To
Okay.
the whole family, and her family is Ellen.
At that time, on April 24th, did John Jones ask you to come there to the residence?
No, I came there on my own, and then 3 days, I stayed 3 days, and he asked me to just stay and move in, that he needed me.
All right, so you were welcome in that home that
Oh,
you went
yes.
there? And did you do some like cleaning up in the home and things of that nature?
Yes, I walked into maggots and mold in every dish, thrown in the yard, in the washer, in the dryer, in the oven. I have photos, but I've been in Columbus, I ain't had a chance to get these developed.
John Jones is somewhat disabled, is that right?
Oh, yes, sir.
And he needs help around the house?
Yes, sir, both hips and both knees are needing replaced. They pop in and out there, it's horrible.
Was Ellen living there at the house with John at that time?
Squatting, yes,
Okay, and who else with her?
her husband.
So when, on this date, on April 24th,
She just said it was.
was there something that happened that caused the police to get involved?
She come out of the shower in a towel, went to her room.
Who is she, ma'am?
Bertha Ellen Rainey. I said, Ellen, I have to go to the restroom real quick. She started cussing up and down, throwing a fit, throwing things, busting the wall. All the pictures fell down on the ground, busted. And he said, that'll be enough. My brother said, John said, that'll be enough. And she started cursing at him, and let me tell you this, that, and the other. And when he got in his wheelchair to go to the restroom himself, she, before he got to the restroom, she come running down the hall with both hands and pushed me as hard as she could. Injured my arm on the table that's in the kitchen. Took a run. My brother watched her take a run and pushed me down. And that's when I called the police. He was in the hallway, and she threw him against the wall out of the wheelchair.
Do you know what she was upset about?
She's very violent. Because I went to the restroom, and he told her to knock it off, and she started cussing at him.
Okay. There wasn't more to it than that?
I mean, other than cussing me and cussing him, that was it.
All right. So did she actually knock you to the ground?
Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
Did you end up with an injury?
Yes, I hit my arm on the table, on the kitchen table leg. I had to go to the doctor. I'm still injured. It's still knotted up.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Can you lift your arm up so maybe the court can see it?
Can you see it? It was as big as my fist. I now have to go to a specialist because he said that the tendon is dislocated off of the muscle.
So it was pretty seriously injured.
Yes.
Do you have medical bills that you have to pay out of pocket?
Yes, because I'm now of age, and I am I'm on the what do you call it?
Medicare?
Medicare. Yeah.
Okay, so you think that there'll be bills that they don't?
Oh, there is already. I have to pay bills at the doctor and for medication.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, do you know how much those are?
I have to get a copy of them. They're at the house.
Okay.
I can drop them off later or tomorrow. Oh, wait a minute. Tomorrow's Saturday, Monday.
So, did you see Ellen do anything to John?
Yes, I was on the floor, and I saw her take him by the shoulders and physically throw him up against the wall. And screaming and yelling, and just, I mean, it was awful.
And so, as a result of all this, did somebody then call for the police to come?
I called for the police.
And that was the South Point police that responded?
Yes, sir. They had to tell her to get dressed, not once, but 4 times. And I thank God that I was there because she would have said rape or something against my brother.
Was this
That's
something,
just how she is.
was this something uncharacteristic for her to be violent like that?
She's like this all the time. Just like when she says, I'll never spend a day in jail. I'll climb the bars, I'll act like an idiot and an ape. I won't spend 1 hour in jail. That's her words to everybody. And she's done it.
She's just not answering the question. She's just continuing on with a narrative, Your Honor.
All right. Just stay with the question.
And I don't know if it's possible, Your Honor, but she pointed out a lump on her arm which was a sustained injury. I don't know if the court had a chance to see that, can take judicial notice that she had this lump on her
I
arm.
don't know.
I object to that without medical records, Your
I
Honor.
can't take judicial notice, but, I mean, I looked at the arm,
Okay. That's all the questions I have of this witness.
cross-examined.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Reed, so John is your brother, correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So, you can't talk to me. I have to answer these questions. So John's your brother. Have you ever lived with him before?
In Florida.
In Florida? Okay, all right. So you were at one point his caregiver?
No.
No, okay.
No.
Or you just lived with him?
Yeah, we
Okay.
lived as brother and
All
sister
right.
because we work together too.
Okay. Are you living with him now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, all right. The day of the incident, how long had you been there?
3 days.
3 days? Okay.
Yes.
Did you have your own?
Four.
3 or 4. Did you have your own?
4.
Okay. Your Honor, I would ask the court to instruct the other witness to this case not to correct the witness on the stand. He's holding up numbers and making motions towards her.
Yeah, you can't do that. Don't communicate with the witness. I didn't
Okay.
see it, but.
Yeah.
He thinks that you were coaching her.
Well, he's holding up his fingers towards her. It's not, he is coaching.
4 days, and you get 3 days.
Well, you're not supposed
Can't do that.
You
Well,
can't do
sorry.
that.
I apologize, Your Honor.
So you were there 3 days prior to the incident, correct?
3 to 4, yes.
3 or 4, okay, all right. Why did you come over there?
Because we needed to talk some family things, and we talked, and he finally come out and told me what was going on.
You needed to talk about some family things. What did you need to speak about?
Personal things.
Personal things like what?
Why do you need to know?
Okay, ma'am, you have to answer the question.
Okay. About how he's doing. Did he need my help? Did he need me to help him out? Because there was other things, you know, about his son, about her. She's squatted there for 6 years, actually. And
What specifically, you're being all general, what specifically did he want to talk to you about when it came to
that
her?
he wanted to know, I needed to talk to him.
You needed to talk to him?
Yes.
So did you call him and say, I needed
I
to
didn't
talk
call
to him?
him, I went over.
You went over?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Do you, so you just showed up 3 days prior to this incident, saying, I need,
Yes.
3 or 4 days, I needed to speak to you about this stuff?
Yeah, and some personal things in my life.
Okay, okay. What are the personal things you wanted to talk about?
About
I'm going to object,
surgeries and stuff.
that can't be relevant to
Yeah.
the assault. Personal
Well,
things in her
I'll
life.
give a little leeway. I mean,
Surgery
Why she's
stuff
there.
for me. So,
Did you need to speak to him because you needed a place to live?
no.
Okay, all right. So what was it that you needed to speak to him about?
I just told you.
About surgeries?
Yeah,
Okay.
about surgeries and about Bertha Ramey.
Okay. All right, what was your discussion with him about Bertha Ramey?
If she was taking care of him, it was everything okay, and then when I walked in, it wasn't okay. Maggots and mold, what would you think?
When you walked in, you say there's maggots and mold.
Mhm.
Okay.
CAO also saw this.
I'm not questioning CEO, I'm questioning you, okay? What exactly did you see?
All the dishes, there was dishes in the yard.
How many dishes? Dishes
All
in the yard?
All of them.
All of them, every single dish you had?
Pans, every one of them. Pots and pans were in the yard with mold and maggots and old food on the counter, stacked tall in both sinks on all the counter. Nothing but dirty dishes with mold, with gnats, maggots. It was disgusting. It wasn't even fit for a dog.
Okay, all right. So you see all this and you decided to stay? You decided to stay?
I decided, at that point, my brother asked me, "You want to stay the night?" Sure.
Okay.
So we had a great time that evening, watching movies, talking.
Was Bertha there?
Yeah, they were in their room.
They were in their room, okay. And they have a separate room?
They were in a disgusting room, yeah.
They have a separate room
Yeah.
for themselves?
Yeah.
Does he have a room?
Yes.
Okay, where did you stay? On the
Yeah.
couch or in a room?
I stayed on the couch.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you were there for 3 days. At any point over those 3 days, did you get in an argument with Bertha?
No.
Okay. Everything was cordial. Everything was okay.
No. I tried to talk with her. She kind of avoided me, walk away, ask her what was wrong, you know, things like that.
What did you do during those 3 days prior to this incident while you were at the
I
restaurant?
talked to her, asked her if she was going to clean. She says, well, this is a process, being that he didn't put the property in our name. This is what he gets. He's not getting no cleaning, no nothing out of me.
Okay. So what did you do for those 3 days that you were there? Did you
So
clean?
on the third day, I started doing dishes.
Okay. Okay. So on the day of the incident, what time was the incident? What time approximately?
Probably between 7 and 8, because they go to work every morning.
Okay.
They both are a team. They work cleaning houses or repairing houses. He does electric. That's why all the tools that are his are in lock and key in his garage.
So,
7 or 8 a.m. or p.m.?
AM, I'm sorry. Thank you, John.
so around 7 or 8 a.m., she decided to go take a shower. Bertha decided to go take a shower, correct? Okay. It's only one shower, one bathroom place?
Yeah, there's one bathroom
One bathroom, okay, with a shower.
and tub and a shower, yes,
Okay,
and a
all right.
commode and a...
So she decided to go in there and take a shower. She was in there forever, how long she was, and she came out, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Went to her bedroom and shut the door. I there proceeded to say, Ellen, I gotta go pee. I just got up. I'll be right out real quick. Blah, 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 and started cussing, yelling, screaming.
So if she came out of the
She didn't
bathroom,
come, go ahead.
if she came out of the bathroom, went into her own room, is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If she came out of the bathroom, went in her own room, why did you need to tell her that you were going to the restroom?
Because she was in a towel and went to her room. I said, if you need to go back in, I need to go to the potty.
Okay. Did you go in and go to the potty?
Yes, I mean, I just got up. I had to go to the restroom. I'm diabetic.
Okay, all right. So 7, 8 in the morning, you're just getting up?
Yes,
Okay, from the couch?
yes.
Okay. So you went in there, and you were in there probably what, 2, 3 minutes?
Yeah,
Okay. And you came out?
yeah.
Okay. What happened the exact moment you came out of the restroom or the bathroom?
Before I even came out, it was mouth service, cussing, screaming, yelling. My brother hollered, that's enough.
Where was your brother at that time?
He was in his chair, proceeding to get in his wheelchair. He has a wheelchair at the house.
He was in the living room,
Yes,
near the couch?
yeah, it's a very small house.
Yeah, okay. So you came out, so you were in there, and you started hearing. What did you exactly hear?
I told her cussing at me, cussing at my brother. I told her, I said, Ellen, just hang on.
You say
Went to the
cussing.
potty.
You say cussing, specifically what was said?
You stupid bitch, you damn whore. Get the hell up out of here. Nobody asked you to come here and stay. Why are you here? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, just on and on.
Okay.
And my brother said, that's enough. And that's when he got in his chair because he had to go to the restroom.
So this started while you were in the restroom, that she said those things you just mentioned.
And she was in her room, which is
All right.
right there.
How many times did Mr. Jones say that's enough?
He said it once.
Once, okay.
And then got in his chair because he had to go.
Okay. So while this was going on, or started, you came out of the restroom.
Yes, I hurried.
All right.
So she could get back in there.
What happened exactly when you came out of the restroom?
When I came out, I said, I'm sorry, Ellen. She just kept rambling. Here she's running back and forth in her towel. And I said, I looked at both of them. I said, this is between you guys. I proceeded to go to the kitchen. She came running down the hall as fast as she could and pushed me to the ground where my shoulder hit the table.
Why did you say this was between the two of them?
I don't like to get into their, you know, I mean, it was their thing. I don't.
No, I mean, this
I don't butt in.
this was an incident with you, okay?
Uh-huh.
So what specifically were you saying this is between you two?
Because they
What are you
were
referring
talking.
to?
She was yakking, he was talking to her. I'm like, I can't do this. I just got up, so I proceeded to go to the kitchen, and she proceeded to run down the hall when my back was turned and pushed me down.
Okay, you say that she ran down the hall and pushed you.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
how did she push you and where did she push you?
In my back with both palms.
With both palms?
Yes.
Okay, top of your back, lower back,
My
where?
lower back.
Lower back. So she pushed you in your lower back and you flew forward,
Yep,
okay, into the kitchen,
into the table in the kitchen.
into the table in the
It's a
kitchen.
small house.
Okay, and you got the injury that you referred
Yes,
to earlier?
I couldn't even lift my arm. It was
Okay,
very painful.
all right. At some point, you did call law enforcement.
Yes, while I was
Did you-
sitting on the floor, I called the wall because my brother was heading to the bathroom, and I'm right there, directly down the hall looking.
Okay.
And that's when she proceeded to knock my brother out of the chair.
Well, let's
Pulling
back
down.
up. She allegedly pushed you, you fell into the chair face first,
Into the table.
table, okay? What happened after that?
I just told you.
You got up, right?
I did not get up.
Okay. You
I
were,
was sitting on the floor,
Sitting on-
holding my arm.
Okay.
When I saw my brother in the wheelchair going to the bathroom, she proceeded to throw, she was yelling at the top of her lungs, pounding the wall, pictures falling off.
Again, what was-
And she proceeded to take him by the shoulders, throw him out the chair.
so how did she take him by the shoulders?
What-
Grab him by the shoulders like this? Indicate how that was done.
I don't know, she just grabbed him by the shoulder. She
You don't know, you
said-
saw it. How do you not know?
I didn't say I didn't know.
Okay,
I
you just said that.
I said that she grabbed him by the shoulders and threw him out against the wall.
Okay, how did she grab him?
I guess like the shoulders.
Okay,
I mean,
grabbed
up
him
the
on the shoulders?
Yeah.
Did she throw him over the side of the wheelchair?
Yes, she did.
Okay,
3 officers had to pick him up off the floor.
so she threw him, did the wheelchair tip over?
I don't remember.
Okay,
I don't think so,
you don't think so?
but I'm not sure.
Okay. So is the hallway big enough for the wheelchair to tip over sideways?
It could if it was the right position, yeah.
Okay, okay. So she threw him over the side of the wheelchair?
I don't know if
or
it
the
was
floor?
over the side or what. I was on the floor.
But you
I
were-
saw her putting her hands on his shoulders, and next thing I know, he's up against the wall and down on the floor.
So I'm trying to understand that
This is
if
when
you're
I
sitting
got
and
it.
observing this, how can you not tell me exactly how it was done?
I'm sitting there in massive pain, crying. I did see her put her hands on his shoulders. Next thing I knew, he's on the ground.
Okay.
I heard him go, "Oh."
You say
And
that.
she's yelling, "What are you talking about? I didn't do nothing to you. What are you saying? I didn't do nothing to you." Yeah.
Okay. So you say you observed it, but you really can't describe it.
When I'm on the floor, I'm telling you what I saw, period. I mean, I don't know what you're trying to prove.
I'm trying to figure out how you say she picked this man up and threw him against the wall.
Your Honor,
I'm trying to
going to
get,
object. I mean, she's already answered. She grabbed him by the shoulders. I mean, I think that's a description.
Your Honor, logistically, it doesn't make sense that she grabbed him by the shoulders unless she wants to testify that she saw this. She needs to describe exactly what she saw, just not be general about it.
I did.
I think you're beating a dead horse, so I'd like for you to move
I'll
on.
continue. I'll move on.
So Mrs. Sand.
Yes. Oh, you're okay. Okay. So what happened to Mr. Jones after that? Was he in the floor?
He was in the floor, hollering, he was in a lot of pain.
All right.
The officers come in.
All right, no. When he was in the floor, you got up out of the floor, out where you were, correct?
Yeah.
You called law enforcement at that moment?
No, I told you before. I called them while I was on the floor.
Okay. And how long did it take before they arrived?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Well, where was Miss Ramey at that time?
Standing there still screaming in his face.
Okay. What exactly was she saying to him?
I didn't push it. What's wrong with you? I didn't do this. Blah, blah. What are you doing? And I mean, it's just a different personality. The officer saw it.
Okay.
Just totally screaming and calling me a cunt, a bitch, a whore, you sleazy bitch, why'd you come to our home? And then turn around to say, well, you're like my mommy, you have to raise me. And the officers heard this too.
Okay. Anything else you want to ask her? Nothing further, Your Honor.
Redirect.
I have nothing else with this witness, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you may sit down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
We'll call Patrolman Woodyard.
Woodyard, will be called. Officer, if you'd step up and before you sit down, just raise your right hand, I'll swear you in. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? You may be seated.
Officer, state your name, please.
Stephen Woodyard.
You're employed by the South Point Police, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And what's your rank with the police?
Patrol.
Were you on duty in the morning hours on April the 24th of this year? And were you dispatched to,
Yes, sir.
and do you know that to be the residence of John Jones?
Yes, sir.
Was this in reference to a domestic violence incident?
Yes, sir.
When you arrived, you did go there to the scene, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And once you got there, did you make contact with a lady by the name of Connie Reed?
Yes, sir.
And did you also have contact with a woman by the name of Bertha Ramey?
Yes, sir.
And also John Jones?
That's correct.
You asked them all questions about what happened?
Yes, sir.
And what did you conclude had happened?
When I first arrived, Miss Connie was on the front porch. She advised that her brother's stepdaughter, I believe, had assaulted her and her brother. At that point, we heard screaming coming from inside the residence. Myself and Deputy Barker entered the residence.
Who was screaming inside the residence?
It sounded like Bertha was screaming at Mr. Jones.
And so did you locate Mr. Jones in the residence?
Yes, he was still on the floor,
He was lying on the floor
laying on the floor.
next to his wheelchair?
Next to his wheelchair.
Did you ask him what happened?
As soon as we entered the residence, Connie followed behind. There was some bickering going on between the pair. We had to tell him to be quiet several times. We attempted to get Mr. Jones out of the floor, myself and Deputy Parker. We were unsuccessful at first. We were going to call a squad. At that point, he began to lift himself up. Miss Remy went to her room. I went back there and spoke with her a little bit.
What did she tell you?
That Miss Connie had recently began staying there. There was a verbal disagreement. She denied doing any assault.
Were you wearing a body camera that
Yes,
morning?
sir.
And was it working?
Yes, sir.
And did you preserve the video for use in this case?
Yes, sir.
Ask that this be marked as exhibit, state's exhibit 1.
Any objection?
No objection.
Given it.
Hello. What happened?
My niece being here,
Okay.
okay? She started screaming and yelling, this is my brother's house. Okay, I'm gonna show you something, how she's lived, how my brother lived in Macus. He asked me to come up to help him, I've been up here helping, it took me 5 days and nights. Cleaning these nasty dishes up, I got photos. He knocked me out of this here.
You that means you got no respect for me.
Where's Brandon?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to give you the help to get him up.
And you need to leave him alone.
You should not be here.
This is my brother's
This
house.
is my family. This is my
Hey,
dad.
well, then I tell you, stop! Keep moving down.
I've been here 10 years. 10 years caring for you. And now you're coming
I
back.
want to tell you one more time. You don't mean cut the grass out of it. That's all. Are you okay, Lloyd? You're one more time. I'm out there. Sorry, that too, then. How many people live in this house?
You gotta be easy. He's got a broken, his back is really bad.
Okay.
He's had a both had open heart surgeries.
Can you give me up?
Well, I think you are right.
My head and my knees are low.
Yeah, there's got a, he's a good bishop out of, she was me.
I will call you. Are you sure? Are you sure?
He did not need a caregiver. Oh, really?
I got you up here. You want to stand right there? Tell me what's going on.
I'm sorry about this. This is John Stewart, we've been here 10 years. I have my father over here. I'm a job.
Tell me what's going on today.
I got to measure around. She didn't know.
Okay.
You can ask her if there's questions.
Okay, so come on.
I wake up and she's screaming and yelling. I'm going to turn around, walk a picture off the wall, and then she was still out.
Did you How did he get out of the wheelchair?
And he stood up.
Yeah, we have 29 patients.
Okay. So did you see anything happen today? What did you see? You and her? Can you shut up for a second? No wonder, you don't shut your damn mouth. Shut up. So she did? She did? Did you see her at Krissy on the ground or anything? You didn't see no? So whose house is it? How long, you guys stay here for that long?
Officer, I wanted to ask you, because it's really kind of hard to hear all the conversation.
Yeah.
Did Bertha Ramey say to you that both Connie and John fell down by themselves?
When she explained it, she said that she had turned around and knocked a picture off the wall, is the way she explained it, and that John had stood up and fell on the floor. That's how she explained it.
Did she say anything about how that Connie was also on the floor?
I don't really recall.
Now, when Connie testified, she talked about the condition of the house being somewhat deplorable. Do you also agree with that, or cluttered and lots of?
There's clutter, it's typical for this area. It's nothing, it wasn't that bad that I seen.
Shit, and of course, she said that she got slammed doors down. Where did he go now? In the ship.
How long would you stay there?
I've been here for 5 days off in the morning, down there, doing dishes. This was maggoty, mold, I got photos of everything.
Okay.
CAO come up, said, seen it, they were gonna get the document services on her. 10 years she's done nothing but leave violent, nasty dishes. Look, I mean, just look at it. The kitchen I've done.
Well, I get that, but what happened today? I don't care what happened in your.
I was in the bathroom, I put her clothes outside, because I had to go get them, I had to keep over. She come out here screaming and running around, calling me names, slamming me, knock these down, throw them at me. Come right here, I come in here and they call me, get away from her, so I'm a big girl here. I come in here and she put both hands on my back as hard as she could, and knocked me to the floor, and I'm not gone. I don't know if it's knocked out or what.
Okay.
I'll have her, my surgery 3 times. That's right, I did raise you, not like this though, Alan. I want her to be able to press the button. I'm probably.
What's your name, Lola? So how do you live before? She pushed you out of the
I seen her pushing her. I seen her arms. But I didn't see her arms.
So she pushed you out of the wheelchair? Causing a scrape on your knee? Well, who was she to you? Is that your daughter?
Stepdaughter.
She's lived here for 10 years?
She has 2 weeks. She comes in, she slams the door, slams dishes, and slams everything. And she goes 2 weeks, I wash the dishes, and lights out, and starts acting.
You got your notebook and your statement forms. Just give them statement forms. You make your forms. You do your report, take one to jail. You get to do a report, take one to jail. Do you need a squad or anybody?
They got one say.
Do you need a squad or anything? Do you need an emergency squad? Man, do you need an emergency squad? You need, man, do you
I'm gonna go down to the doctor myself.
You can just go get a statement form. He's saying that she pushed him out of the wheelchair. He's got a scrape on his knee. That's a dog.
Yeah, I get both my knees and my arms out, she's on the table.
She's saying that she pushed her.
Oh, she both
You don't have one paper for that. One paper's fault. Will you fill out a statement form, or do you not want to fill out a statement form?
You want me to do it for you, John?
You can do whatever you want.
Do you- Do you want to fill out a statement form against her stepfather?
Get around here now.
I just want to leave, Mommy. You can have everything.
I want your ass in jail. You don't turn around and irate you.
Okay, stop. Okay, that's
Hey,
Huh?
shut up. Okay. I've already said it 3 times. Don't say it again. I'll take everybody to jail. I don't care.
If you keep running, you're going to go to jail.
Do you want to fill out a statement form? She's going to jail for her life. Okay.
If she wants to do that, I'll do it.
No,
I'll do it.
I won't then.
Come here. Come here. Come here.
I was here for you, nothing else.
Come here. Stay down.
What they do.
You won't shut your mouth. I can take it from you.
Look what they're doing to me.
If you follow me on sale,
John, I'm not that.
you come here, you don't tell me. Shut up, listen. You don't tell me nothing.
You didn't tell me that either. You didn't tell me, you didn't talk to me.
You got to
You didn't talk to me.
You're not doing it.
No, you haven't. You tried to put my husband in jail 3 different times. When?
All right now, she probably needs to be with that one wrong.
No,
Shut up. I don't care. Shut up.
So is that a fair and accurate rendition by way of a recording of what you witnessed there at that scene?
Yes, sir.
And you placed Bertha Ramey under arrest for domestic violence on both of those individuals?
It was one count of assault, and one count of domestic is what I placed her under arrest for.
But she was related to both of those individuals, at least by marriage.
Yes.
That's all I have of this witness. Your Honor.
Ross,
No questions, Your Honor.
you may step down. Is this witness released?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hill,
Yes, thank you, officer.
your officer is free to go. Thank you.
We'll call John Jones, please.
He can
You want to sit?
probably just stay where he is, I think, rather than having to try to get up on the stand.
That's fine.
Sir, would you raise your right hand, though? Do you swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Hill.
Thank you, Your Honor. You're John Jones, correct? And you live at, all right? Now, I'm back on April the 24th of this year, this incident that occurred at your house. You've watched the video here in the courtroom, and you were able to see everything and hear pretty good what happened. Does that seem pretty accurate about what happened?
Well, the way she pushed me, you know, she grabbed my shoulder and pulled me, and it felt like an electric lightning bolt hit my back. You know,
You've had back issues already, back problems?
yeah.
Well, okay, so I want to back up here a little bit and ask you some questions. First of all, Connie Reed is your sister, is that right? And did she she came to the house to talk to you? And did you invite her in?
Yeah.
Was she welcome to come in?
Yeah.
And then she decided to stay and help you?
I asked her to,
Okay.
because I tried to do it alone, I can't.
Now, when Connie testified, she said the house was a mess when she got there.
Yeah, I mean,
Objection.
I couldn't even get
What-
a wheelchair.
what grounds?
Rooms.
No, it's not relevant, but
Okay, so you were going to talk about what condition the house was in.
Yeah, it looked like you watch that TV show Hoarders, it looked like that, you know. But she wouldn't wash dishes. She actually took dishes and hid them out in the yard, like my sister said. It's all true. I mean, everything's dirty, you know.
So you use a wheelchair, and how able are you to get up and walk around?
I can't walk.
Okay. You got a back injury? Is
A
that-
back injury, neck injury, and my knees went out, hips, and my hips are popping and cracking too.
And you can't help him.
So, yeah, you gotta let him answer. What's your relation to Ellen Rainey?
My stepdaughter.
And she's lived there in the household with you for 6 years, I understand?
Yeah.
And also her husband?
Yeah.
And was there something about Connie's presence in your house that upset Ellen?
She hates my sister.
Okay. Is that something that's gone on for a long time?
Yeah.
So on this particular day, did Ellen do something to you as far as an assault?
Yeah, she first hit me in the shoulder here, then she, I don't know how she dragged me, but like I said, it felt like a lightning bolt that struck my back. I must have turned the wrong way or something, I don't know. I don't know if she had one of them buzzer things you buzz yourself with, or I don't know.
And you ended up on the floor.
Yeah.
Do you know why she did that to you?
Well, a couple of days earlier, her husband came out screaming at me. Well, before first, Ellen was slamming doors, you know, throwing shit and just, you know, crazy. And what was the question? I'm sorry.
The question was, I don't.
Why did she do it?
Yeah, why did she do it?
Well, she wanted me, she got pissed off because I went inside the house over to her. The agreement was all they was paying was $200 a month, you know. And I tried to give her a home, but I don't know, she just popped me on everything.
Okay.
And when she's out of her pills, she goes crazy.
Has she gone crazy like this before?
Yeah. I'm going. My wife passed away 2 years ago, January, and ever since that, she just don't care about nothing. I mean, just.
Is that since then, since your wife passed away, that she's let the house go? That Ellen's let the house go?
Well, she never did take, clean house. My wife did. She wouldn't do anything. I mean, it's true, she dishes out in the yard, pots and pans out there, she put them on the porch, put them in the dryer, in the washer, so she wouldn't have to wash dishes.
Now, when Officer Woodyard testified, he said that it looked okay to him, but, well, when he was there, had Connie cleaned up already?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Is that right?
Yeah, we got pictures somewhere. The CAO and the VA people came at my house to see me, and they seen how messy it was. You can ask them.
You're a veteran?
Yes.
All right. Now, Connie testified that she got pushed to the floor by Ellen. Did you see any of that?
Well, I couldn't see Connie, but I seen Ellen where I was sitting at you with both hands.
Was that before she shoved you?
Yeah.
And you never saw what happened to Connie then after she got shoved?
Well, I heard the table and chairs, you know, I sounded like she knocked over a chair and the table was moved, you know.
So when you got knocked down to the floor, did you have any injuries?
Yeah, my knee was all straight up.
Did you have to go to the doctor about that?
No. I went to my doctor, and I was afraid something like this was going to happen. I didn't feel safe in my home before in there. And I told my doctor everything that went on.
After this happened, you talked to the doctor?
No, before, I knew something was coming up out of the way she was acting, you know. She's got 3 personalities.
Okay.
When she got a pill in her, you know, she's all cool and calm. You know how that is.
So as long as your wife was living, things were kept under control?
Well, not really. My son's stimulus check paid for their truck. She talked my wife in, you know, my son was in jail at the time. And, you know, when we got stimulus checks, Yeah.
Stimulus checks?
Mhm.
Back at COVID time?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's how they got that truck with my son's,
Objection.
cut, yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah, I just.
All right, so, all right, that's all the questions I have for Mr. Jones.
Cross-examine.
Mr. Jones, so have you ever lived with your sister before?
Yes,
Okay. Has she ever taken care of you before?
yes.
Okay, all right. How long have you needed assistance to live where you could not live by yourself?
6 years, probably.
6 years? Okay. In the past 6 years, has she lived with you to take care of you?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So your sister has lived with you along with Miss Reamy?
Not at the same time.
Not the same time?
Not at the same time.
Okay, all right. So when your sister was living with you and taking care of you, she helped you get in and out of. But you mentioned that Miss Reamy was staying with you for the past 10 years. Is that correct?
6 years.
6 years.
I
Okay.
think it was 6 years.
Okay.
She, a lot of times, you know, she's supposed to fix dinner, you know, and they come in 11, 12 at night, you know, go straight to the bedroom, don't say nothing, hide nothing, you know.
But they've lived with you for 6 years?
About 6 years.
Okay. How often does your sister come over? How often does Connie Reed come over?
Just whenever she needs to talk or visit or whatever, you know.
Oh, okay, okay. Did she come over 3 days prior to this incident to talk to you?
Yes, I asked her to.
You asked her to? Okay, okay. So you called her on the phone and asked her to come over? So she just didn't show up?
No, she didn't show up, I asked her.
You asked her to come over, okay. Why did you ask her to come over for?
Did you not hear me what I said about her?
Why did you ask Connie to come over?
Because, you know, I can't wait until 11, 12 to eat dinner, you know.
So you called Connie and said, Connie, I need you to come over here and fix me dinner.
No, it wasn't that.
Okay, then what exactly was it that you asked Connie to come over for?
Because I wanted her to know if she would move in and help me.
Okay, so you asked her to come over to talk to her about moving in?
Yes,
Okay, and how many bedrooms are in this place?
2.
2 bedrooms, okay. If Connie was gonna move in and you were asking her to move in, where was Connie gonna stay?
Well, like I told you before, her husband came in just yelling at me, saying, we'll be out of here on the first. Like, yelling.
So you were expecting Miss Reamy to move out on the first?
Yeah, they already started packing and everything.
Okay.
And they also, you know, carry
Okay.
stuff out of the house.
Just answer my question. Just answer my question, please. So they were gonna move out on the first, and you were gonna have Connie move in to take care of it?
Right.
Okay, all right. So Connie came over 3 days prior to that, and where was Connie sleeping at?
On
Was
the
she-
couch.
On the couch, okay.
In the living room with me. I
Okay,
mean, I was in a recliner, and I can't lay flat.
okay. So you sleep in your recliner?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And were you in your recliner when this incident allegedly occurred?
It started that way, yeah, and I got in a wheelchair and went to see what was going on.
Okay, all right.
I mean,
So were you in your wheelchair when Miss Reamy allegedly pushed Miss Reed?
no, I was in my recliner.
You're in your recliner. But you did not see the actual shove, did you?
Like I said, Connie was there to walk, and where I could see, I seen Alan's hands go like that real fast, hard. And I heard the tables and chairs, you know, crash.
Okay. From your perspective, could you see anything that happened in the hallway while you were in your recliner?
I was in the hallway. I told you I got up out of the chair and got in the wheelchair and went.
I'm
to the
talking
hallway.
about prior to getting in the wheelchair. Did you see anything in the hallway?
I seen Helen throw her hands out like that, and I heard my sister, you know. Simple as that.
What was your sister saying to Miss Reamy?
I don't know, I couldn't hear over her. You know, she was yelling, throwing shit, slamming doors, you know.
What did she throw?
Huh?
What did she throw?
Dishes, cups, coffee cups,
Coffee cups? Where did she throw them to and at who?
and if they in the sink, they all bust, in the sink. Throw them on the table, throw them in the corner.
So there was busted coffee mugs in the sink and in the corner. Did she bust them? Was she?
Throw them in the sink, some of them busted, some of them did.
During this incident?
She wasn't in the kitchen when she attacked me.
No, but you telling me that during this incident, she was throwing stuff.
Yes.
So where was she throwing stuff and who was she throwing it at and what
I don't know
happened?
who she's throwing it at, but I heard it hit the sink, all the dishes was busted. And,
So she busted dishes in the kitchen? I'm trying to understand that. So
it's
she,
hard to understand it. I mean, she's throwing dishes, they bust, so I get in my wheelchair, not this one. And I whip myself in there, and I see all the shit on the floor, and, in the sink. Refrigerator door slammed all the way over.
so after Connie was allegedly pushed into the kitchen table, you got in your wheelchair, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Where did you wheelchair yourself to after that?
I
After you
went
got
in the
in?
hallway going to the bathroom, because
Okay.
I got.
Okay, when did you go to the kitchen? You just mentioned you went into the kitchen. When did you go
I
in the
did
kitchen?
go in the kitchen, you're not listening.
No,
I
you-
went in the kitchen first.
Okay.
I seen the dishes all busted up.
All right.
All right, and I went, going to the bathroom,
Okay.
and I'm in the hallway, and that's when that happened
Okay.
there.
All right. So whoever allegedly threw you, you had your back to. Is that correct?
What are you talking about, man? She was freaking in front of me.
Well, in front of you, okay. All right, that's what I'm asking. She was in front of you or behind you? In front of you, correct? Okay. Exactly how did she throw you?
Like I said, she hit me in the shoulder, and I don't know what she did, but, like I said, it felt like a lightning bolt hit my back.
Okay, I don't
If I moved the
know.
wrong way, it hurt.
So she hit you in the shoulder with the fist, slap, with the
Like if I
glove.
come over there to you, I'll grab you by your shoulders and throw you out of your chair.
But you just said she hit you.
But she did. She hit me, then she grabbed me.
So she hit you with her fist? Did she hit you with your fist, her fist?
Yes.
Okay, so she hit you with her fist in the shoulder, and then she grabbed both of your shoulders
Right.
in front of you.
Right.
Okay, leaning over you. All right? And what did she do next?
I was on the floor.
You're on the floor. Okay.
I mean, how did that pass?
All right. Did she take you and bring her towards you, towards her? Did she take you and throw you against the wall? She threw you against the wall. Okay. All right. Did she bring you forward and throw you against the wall? I'm trying to understand how you were able to get out of a wheelchair sideways, saying that she threw you against the wall when there was not enough room for you to
There's
go
enough room in there.
tip over. So tell me, how did she pull you out of the wheelchair? Specifically.
Your Honor,
Your
I'm going
Honor.
to object. He's already explained a dozen times.
No, it's not. It's not crystal clear whatsoever.
You see?
I mean, he's being general about it. He experienced it. Why can't he explain it?
Maybe I'm not dumb enough not to know. I don't know.
I'll
told you what happened.
leeway. Go ahead, keep.
Okay. All I'm asking is, they've got this narrow hallway. You're looking at the bathroom. Did she grab you, pull you forward, and throw you down? Did she throw you up against the wall and you fell down? Threw you this way? How did she throw you?
The hallway that wide. I can lay my wheelchair down and wheels touch,
So,
Like I said, she hit me in the shoulder with her
Okay.
fist, and then somehow she just grabbed me and pulled me against the wall and hit the floor. That's the only thing I remember.
okay.
I was
But you
on-
also mentioned that you thought she was hit, you were hit with some kind of electrical device?
When you have a backpack,
He said it felt like that. He didn't
Felt
say.
like that,
It
okay,
felt like the lightning bolt struck me in the back.
okay, okay, all right.
I don't know, she made me twist a certain way, but my head hit the side of the wall, and then knocked some pictures, more pictures down. You know, the rest of them, I guess. And I was told just bring my warranty, my deed to.
That's unnecessary. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Redirect.
What's the condition, what kind of back condition do you have?
I don't know what it's called, but I got a CD of the MRIs on my neck.
Is it like your discs in your
Yeah,
back and
yeah.
all that? And so that feeling you're talking about, was that caused maybe by the condition of your spine and your back?
Could be, could be.
Okay. All right, that's all. I don't have any other questions, Your Honor.
Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
I would say.
Any other witnesses for the state?
We're going to ask that that video be admitted
It's
as,
admitted.
No objection.
and we don't have any other witnesses, Your Honor.
Defendants with witnesses.
Do you want to testify?
Your Honor, I apologize if I got over the line.
You're
I'm
fine,
sorry.
sir.
Do you want to move up there and tell them what happened? Your Honor, we call Miss Bertha Reedy to the stand.
And if you come up to the witness stand, I'll swear you in.
Me?
Defendant, right up here, ma'am, where the other witness was. Raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
You may be seated.
Will you state your name for the record?
Bertha Ramey,
Okay. And you go by
Ellen.
Ellen. Okay. Is that your middle name?
That's, yes, Bertha Ellen Sparks Ramey.
Okay. All right. Where do you currently live?
I'm actually staying with my sister-in-law.
Oh, okay. All right. What's that address? Oh, okay. Okay. You were staying with Mr. Jones, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. When did you start staying with Mr. Jones?
The first time we started staying there was 2007,
Okay.
and I have lived there off and on. We've tried twice to move back out, and both times he's needed help. Him and my mom had to file for bankruptcy, and they couldn't, every bit of their money went towards the bills. They had no money for food and groceries, so, and they only gave her $100 a month in food stamps, so we come in, and John was not able to cut the grass anymore, so we started staying there helping and
Okay.
buying household goods and,
So you've lived on and off there since 2007, you say?
yes, for
Okay.
20 years, off
Okay.
and on.
Okay. So, and who did Miss Connie Reed ever live there when you were there?
Miss Connie Reed got evicted when the first time we started staying there.
Okay.
And there was 2 houses on the property. There's no septic system. So when John wouldn't pay to have the septic tank pumped out, she threw human feces on the front door.
I would
She cut
object,
up
Your
my
Honor. This
drain, she
has
cut up
nothing to
drain
do
with
with this,
trampoline.
with charges.
History of why I don't like her.
Wait till,
I'll allow a little bit of it.
You
It's
know,
not that relevant.
yeah.
literally threw human feces on the front door of the house they had just built for my mom and his mom.
But, so he's evicted her at some
He
point in the
evicted
past?
her and tore his mother's house
Okay,
down because of the things she did
Okay.
to him and my mom.
So you live there and you work full-time? Do you have a full-time job?
Yes, I
Okay.
always had a full-time job.
Okay. What do you do currently?
Currently, I'm doing painting, actually
Oh, yeah.
paint.
Okay.
And I have an interview tomorrow, Monday morning, to work for the engineer's office in West Virginia.
Okay, okay.
I'll be an office manager over there for,
So but you've always worked?
I've always worked, I'm a hard worker. I've been working, the last few weeks that I was staying at the house, I was putting in 12-hour shifts. I was working double duties
All right.
so we could save up the money and leave.
So you were planning on moving out?
Yes.
Okay. Why were you planning on moving out?
Because since his son got out of prison,
Yeah.
he's treated me and my husband like I'm not his daughter anymore. I don't belong. I'm not his family. I shouldn't be there. But yet, I'm the only one that paid bills.
So you were paying bills at?
I was paying, yes.
What all were you paying?
I was paying electric, the water, anything that was needed in the house. I was buying the toilet paper, the laundry soap, any trip to Walmart, I had to pay for it.
Okay.
Because every penny of John's check went towards a house payment and his car insurance.
Well, let me ask you, what did you do for John? John couldn't live on his own, could he?
Everything.
Right?
I'd get up in the morning, I'd fix his coffee, I'd give him his cinnamon rolls, I'd go out the door and go to work. I'd come home, I'd fix dinner. I'd even give him his dinner plate. My husband is disabled. He was cleaning the kitchen. John got me. He started cutting things off that my husband was allowed to do. He was mad because JP, his son, was not there doing the job me and Ray are doing.
Okay. So you would help him with daily activities, like fixing him dinner?
He really didn't even need anything.
Okay.
I mean, he'd get up and go to the bathroom, he'd get up and walk the yard, he'd get up, but he couldn't cut the grass and run the mower anymore, so my husband was trying to do that. But he's also disabled.
So you were planning on moving out, okay? And at some point, Mrs. Reed came over to stay for a few days, or just showed up, one or the other, okay?
She just showed, What it was is John's son came home. He had got arrested in Portsmouth. John's son came home for 3 days, and me and Ray was telling him, you're gonna have to chip in, you gotta pay your way. I'm not, you're gonna have to start paying for things.
Good.
He didn't like that.
Okay.
He left and got Connie. JP is the one that called Connie.
So Connie came over 3 days prior to this incident, correct?
I told JP I was done, I'm moving out, I'm not doing no more, so he called Connie.
So prior to this incident, those 3 days before this incident allegedly occurred, what was your conversation? Did you get any arguments or have any fights or any problems with Connie Reed?
She was asking me why I'm not staying to do the cleaning. I said, I gotta work 12 hours a day, and he will not let Ray do the dishes anymore. He run the water the wrong way, and he was gonna mess up the hot water tank.
Okay. So you started doing less and less because you were moving out?
I started doing less and less because I was unappreciated, I was not wanted anymore, and I was getting ready to leave.
Okay. Let me ask you, the day of the incident, you got up about what time?
I got up at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. What? And you went in to take a shower, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
A part of that I missed. She was asking about conversations between me and her, and I had told her that her presence brings mine and Ray's blood pressure up, just her being there.
Okay.
She said, and her reply to that was, go get him on blood pressure medicine.
Okay. Well,
So that was
yeah, okay.
that was the conversation.
But the day of the incident, so you got up and you went in to take a shower, correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right. What happened next?
When I got out of the shower, I went to go get my, I just ordered some new type of toothpaste.
Okay.
That powder, whatever, so I went to the bathroom to grab it, and she runs into the bathroom. And I'm like, I'm not done anything.
So where was that at? So you went you were in the bathroom and
Right
then?
across the hall, like bedroom door, all doors are right there together at the very end of the hallway.
So you
Very
put-
end of the hallway,
You put on a towel to go across the hall, right?
to grab my toothpaste.
Yeah.
She darts into the bathroom
Okay,
and opens the door, throwing my clothes out.
okay. So she went in, closed the door, then opened it again and threw your clothes out?
She was throwing the clothes out when she came out. She was throwing them at me and shaking her butt because I told her.
Shaking her butt? What do you mean by shaking her butt?
Because I said she shouldn't be there
Okay.
because John didn't want her there.
So when you came out to go get your toothpaste and she darted in and started throwing your clothes out, what was your conversation with her? What did she say to you? What did you say to her?
I said, well, you shouldn't be here. John didn't want you here.
Okay.
Well, I'm moving in, and John invited me to move in. And she's sitting there shaking, turned around, started shaking her butt at me and said, pardon my French,
She said, my ass is staying, and she was shaking it. She knocked me down into the laundry basket. and-
What do you mean she knocked you down in the laundry
Where
basket?
she was shaking her butt at me, and I
Yeah.
was trying to hold my towel. She was just shaking her butt, and I fell onto the laundry basket. And that's when she's saying I pushed her.
So did she,
Well, that's when I assumed she went running down the hallway saying, John, she pushed me.
so she hit you with her butt? Is that, okay, all right, and knocked you into the laundry?
Basket.
Okay, all right.
If I could.
So just one step at a time here. So you came out there, went across to get toothpaste, she's throwing it out, you had this conversation with her, and then
She's throwing it, she threw it out, I turned to bend over to pick my clothes up, and that's when she's turning around and shaking her butt.
okay,
My ass is staying.
okay. What happened after that?
That's when everything else went.
What specifically, after she shaking her butt, you fell in the laundry basket, what specifically happened that moment after that?
She went running through the kitchen saying, John, she pushed me.
Okay. And then what happened as she was running towards the kitchen?
That's when I went to the bedroom.
Also, you
Started
went in the
getting my
bedroom?
clothes on.
Okay, all right.
I didn't even get to brush my, I just,
So you went into the bedroom and put your clothes on?
no, not yet, because I told John that he shouldn't. He's the one that said that she wasn't supposed to be there.
Okay. So what did you do after you went in the bedroom? Did you put your clothes on? Did you come back out?
That's when I stood there talking with Ray for a few minutes because I was mad and shaking.
Okay.
So I stood there talking with him for a few minutes, and then that's when we heard John, and I just opened the door and was asking him why he was doing this.
Okay.
No, that's when they called the law first, before, that's when she was in the living room screaming, calling the law.
So did you ever go into the living room?
Yes, because she was telling John I pushed her, and I said, that's when I walked into the living room, and I said, John, you said she was not supposed to be here. For 20 years, she's been, from his words, the spawn of Satan, and
So
20 years, she's not supposed to be there, but then, because him and Ray had issues.
That's fine.
yeah.
Just follow the sequence of events here. I'm trying to let the court and know exactly what happened. So you went in the bedroom, you came out, you went down into the living room, talked to John. And you stood in the doorway and
There's
talked.
like a three-way, like in between the kitchen and the living room, and then there's a long hallway, and that's where the bedroom door is with the bathroom and the two-bedroom doors.
All right. What did you do after you had your conversation with John?
That's when I went back to the bedroom talking with Ray.
Okay. What happened after that? Did you put on
That's
your...
when he came down the hallway.
Okay.
And
What?
I opened my bedroom door and was asking, why are you doing this? She ain't supposed to be here. And he stood up, he pushed the wheelchair back from underneath of him, and he laid on the floor and said, she pushed me too, Connie.
Okay. Okay. So at any time, did you lay hands on Connie Reed?
No.
Did you grab Mr. Jones and throw him up against the wall?
No.
Did you throw him out of his wheelchair?
No. I couldn't pick him up if I tried.
Okay.
I mean, I'm 110 pounds.
All right.
I work a paint roller. I ain't.
All right. No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross.
Ms. Ramey, do you remember, did you watch the video when it was played in the courtroom? And do you remember when Officer Woodyard was talking to you? You were in your bedroom, it looked like your husband was in there, right? It was part of this video that we watched. And that was right at the time that all this stuff happened.
I think so.
Like, I mean, it had just happened and the police arrived.
It took them a few minutes to get there because she had to give them directions.
Okay, a few minutes.
Yeah.
It was the same day.
Yeah.
Did you tell the officer that Connie wagged her butt at you and caused you to fall down? You didn't tell him that, did you?
No, not then. But then I was, when the officers got there, I was so upset over what John was saying, and she was even there, I couldn't even
think of what to say?
I couldn't think, no, I've never been in trouble before,
In
ever.
fact, you even acknowledged that Connie
Yeah,
had gone to the floor, was on the floor, didn't you? You remember saying that? Seems like if you had a defense to what had happened, and you knew what John was saying, and you knew what Connie was saying that had happened, and you didn't have anything to say, like, no, it didn't happen that way at all. Did you?
they kept telling me to shut up.
Who?
Everybody, from the time the cops got there, even the cop, you can hear the cop saying 3 times, shut up,
But then you
shut
gave me a
up.
chance to talk, and you didn't say anything.
Yeah, he gave me about a minute and a half. Like,
Now listen.
I'm sorry about this. This is our discharge story for 10 years. I'm going to close over here.
right, so,
What's on there?
I woke up 2 days in a row. She didn't call me.
Okay.
You can ask her questions.
Okay, so tell me.
I wake up to the shower. She's there screaming and yelling. I went to turn around with my picture off the wall, and then she just fell down.
See, you just said that, didn't you? She fell down.
no,
You said she fell down, didn't you? Listen to it again.
Okay, so tell me.
I wake up to the shower. She's there screaming and yelling.
either way it goes, can you,
Turn around with my picture off the wall, and then she just fell down.
And she just fell down. You said
yeah,
that
she
right
fell
after
down,
that.
she fell on the ground.
So she
I
fell
was
on her
picking
own.
myself up off the ground as she was going down to the ground.
All right, so she fell on her own, and John fell on his own. And they're both lying about you.
They want me out of the house because they think that's the only reason I'm there.
But you said you were
I don't-
moving already.
John
You
did.
decided to leave already.
Mhm. Yep,
So why would that make you
I
mad?
don't know. Because she's there. And
You
it
didn't want her
hurtful.
to
My
be-
dad is telling me that I just lost my mom and spent the last 2.5 years taking care of my dad. And now he's saying I'm not his daughter anymore.
Your feelings are hurt
My feelings is
about
more
Connie
than
coming
hurt.
in and
Yeah.
you being told to leave.
Yeah.
And you heard,
Her
that's your
being
father,
there.
right? John is her.
He brought her in
Okay,
when he knows.
I want to make sure I understand. He is your father, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the one that's raised me since I was 6 years old.
And you were in the courtroom today and heard him testify about the condition of the house before Connie got there.
This was after my stepbrother had already come in. I get the abuse because his son is not being there doing for him. And he gets upset about his son and he takes it out on me. And that's what is going on.
Okay, that makes
And
sense.
if he don't want me there, that's fine, I'll leave, but somebody needs to come and do for him.
Okay.
For him to bring her in there before we're gone was hurtful, even more than hurtful, after he's already been hurting me for the last, I'm not his daughter. And that's fine, but I can't be living under somebody else's rules. I have to have something for myself.
And where are you living now?
Right now, I'm staying at a friend's house
In Ashland.
in Ashland.
And when did you move out of that house? Right after this happened?
I've not been allowed to do anything. I've
So-
not had,
Okay. In April 24th.
yes.
And you say you paid all the bills and everything there at John's residence.
Yes.
And
We're actually going in 2 weeks to sign paperwork to buy our piece of property in Proctorsville. 2 weeks and I have my own place.
All right, so you're saying your dad pushed himself down or caused himself to fall, and Connie,
You don't want to face me after what happened, so I'm going to leave and not.
that's all the questions I have, Your Honor.
You're at,
No further questions, Your Honor.
you can sit down now.
Defense rest, Your Honor. We'll waive closings.
Okay.
My husband is a witness to that too.
Apparently you're not calling.
No.
Okay. Based on the evidence and what I see as inconsistencies in her story today and what she told the police, I'm going to make a finding of guilty over the
That's
two
not-
charges. State want to be heard on sentencing?
Your Honor, if it please the court, I think it's pretty, I mean, it made me cringe to see Mr. Jones on the floor. He's obviously in pain. He lives with pain. He lives in a wheelchair, and now he's on the floor because he got shoved down on the floor by this woman. And it's a sorry thing that it's a father and daughter, and what is your relation? What? So you're brother and sister, so
She's a niece.
niece. And it's sad. But I think Ellen's behavior is just out of control. And I don't think she's learned a thing from this. I think that I try to put myself in the shoes of somebody who's accused, and I look at that video, I would have been just mortified for the court to see the video of what happened there. It was obvious that she had committed this act of domestic violence against these people, and I don't think she's learned her lesson. I think that she needs to go to jail. And I think that that's the way that Mr. Jones and Ms. Reed feel about it too.
Mr. Jones, what do you say?
John.
Sir?
What do you say? You're the victim. Do you have anything you want Ellen to go to jail?
Well, she needs to go through rehab. She takes opioids, you know.
Pills or what?
Yeah. That's why she's got 3 personalities. You know, when she ain't got nothing, she'll tear the house apart, slam doors, slam windows. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I was afraid to be around her, the way she was. It's
I don't
terrible.
hear you saying you want to see her go to jail.
Well, if it helps her, you know, I'll try to give her a home. You know, she was only paying $200 a month. And she would have had it made, but she wanted me to sign the house over to her. And I can't do that.
Yeah, that wasn't my question. Still don't hear you saying you want her to go to jail.
Well, personally, I don't want her to go to jail, but anyway, it might help her rehab, you know.
Okay.
Of course, that's up to you.
Miss Reed, yeah, it is up to me.
Sorry.
Miss Reed, anything you want to say?
She's done nothing but perjure herself and lie, literally lie. First time we were here, her house, her this, she's never paid a bill. And I think, and she's told everybody, I ain't going to jail, you watch. I will climb the bars, I will scream and yell, and that's exactly what she's done to get put out of jail. Or get, you know, I think she needs to go to jail. Because she thinks she's too good, she ain't gonna go to jail. And that's what she's told everybody.
Right.
Your Honor, I think that suspended time is the appropriate sanction here. If the court believes that she has a drug problem, we're willing to take a drug test today and then make a determination on any treatment options that the court insists upon based upon that. I think that's a good resolution. That's what we typically do here.
Reading my mind. That was going to be my next thing.
Yeah. I had enough cases in front of you. But as for jail, Your Honor, I don't think that serves as much of a purpose as rehab might. I think that's the better option, and the court has made its findings, so this is an unfortunate incident that's happened. A lot of stress within his family, and I think Mr. Jones really doesn't want to see her. He wants to see her get help if she needs it. And he really doesn't want to see her go to jail. And there seems like more animosity between Miss Reed and her than from a long history. So,
All right, I'm going to order Miss Remy to go do the urine screen, and we'll come back. And I'll stay here for a while, but if you don't give me a urine screen, at some point I'm just going to say go to jail.
yeah.
And you'll get one down there whenever you're. So stalling is not going to help. It's
That
gonna
was all nothing. What do you
Send
want
you
me
to
to do?
jail probably for the weekend. So
Go-
go do a urine screen.
go to
Let's come back. I'll
probation.
take a recess while that's being done. Court's in recess. Okay, Mr. Jones, you were correct. So what test shows. How do you pay for medical services, Mr. Lee? Do you have a medical card?
I do,
Ohio Medicaid?
yes.
You've been in treatment before?
No,
But you're living in Ashland now. But you said that was temporary. You're going to move back to Ohio?
yeah. If I can, I have 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, part of my sentence is you need to get treatment. It's going to be
Can we
court ordered.
postpone it for 3 weeks?
No, we're
No.
going to start right away. We're not waiting. I mean,
2 weeks to sign my,
Your Honor, I would.
it won't stop you if you want to buy property, whatever, this isn't going to stop you from
it's,
doing that.
it's the finances. I have to work it I have to pay the inspector and the
I'm
closing
going to let you
costs.
start with outpatient. We'll see how that goes.
Thank you.
You test for opioids, but not the most serious one in our community right now. And I don't know where you're getting the drugs, but if you're getting them off the street, you could get into fentanyl very easily, and that kills people. It can kill people. So, so would you prefer to go to a facility on this end of the county or in Ironton? I know right now it'd be more convenient for you to go to Ironton, but
Okay.
it's not going to be. This is not going to be a 2 or 3 week process. It's going to take a while. So
Whatever you think.
faith-based or non-faith-based?
I'm sorry.
We have faith-based programs and we have some that are more secular. Do you want to go to a faith-based program or a secular program?
I don't,
I don't think she has a preference, Your Honor.
I don't have a preference.
Okay, I'm going to refer you to Bethesda then. That's a faith-based program. It's very good. And they're strict too. I mean,
That's fine.
but they can help you. They're going to be there to try to get you into recovery and to help you stay in recovery. And I trust what they will say to you. It's going to be good. So, and I'm going to basically take my lead from Mr. Jones, since he was you called him father, and he was in that role and lived with him for a long time. I think what he wants is the most important, and I don't think he really wants you to go to jail. In my experience, and it's not just my experience, I mean, studies have shown this, people with substance use problems going to jail does not cure their substance use problem. In fact, it mostly makes it worse. So I'd rather see you get help and get treated and get on the right track. But jail is also an option. I also believe that sometimes people, carrots and sticks. Sometimes you got to have a stick to make you do what you need to do. So I don't mind putting people in jail to get their attention if they mess up and don't do what they're supposed to. But don't make me do that. I'm going to give you a suspended jail sentence on the condition that you go to treatment and do well, do what you're supposed to, and that'll be good for you. And I think that would make John happy. Hopefully, maybe you can even restore your relationship down the road if you get clean, and that can happen. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. On the A case, I'll give you a $250 fine, and I will suspend $150 of your fine if you get clean and stay clean. I'll order you to pay the court costs. It's $125. I'm going to give you 60 days in jail, but I'm going to suspend all of it on the condition that you go to treatment and do well. I'm going to order you to Bethesda for treatment, and I want her to write down her contact information, and I'm going to give it to Taylor, and she will call her and get it set up for her to start treatment.
And Your Honor, we need her current address so that we can put it on the no contact order that we're going to request.
Okay, so I'll enter a no contact order currently, so that means you're not to go around or contact either Mr. Jones or Ms. Reed, at least at this point. And you're going to give me the contact information?
Go ahead. Write down your contact information.
I don't know my address.
Do you have a phone
Like-
number? That's all I need.
Oh,
You got
okay.
a cell phone?
Your Honor, would you like to take it as a hearing date?
Yes. A month out. So,
That's fine.
We need some sort of
Do I need
address
a
with
name?
no contact
Name.
order, Your Honor.
where she's living?
Yes, and I don't know what happens. She says it's only temporary, so I don't know if she knows where she's moving to, or,
I don't believe she has an address to it.
No, I don't have an address.
They were staying at his sentence. That's all of them they were. On construction.
They kicked me out of my home. I don't have an address. I'm literally homeless, staying with friends. Gratitude out here.
well, we got to have her address.
Well, we don't have one, Mr. Hill, so
Okay.
you're just going to have to cool your jets. We'll get one in the future. So let's make it earlier rather than later when you come back for a review. We'll make it July 2nd. And that way, by then, maybe we'll have an address.
All right, I'll write that on here. Address, okay? Even if it's just the one you're staying at now.
Could you please review the disposed grant?
Yeah, I would have just done something else.
Yeah, we're going to have her sign that.
No, it's I wouldn't. This is the no contact order. Okay, yeah. Sign right there. All right. And she'll give you a copy of this before you leave.
Okay. I'm going to tell her to call you in about 15 minutes. And you better, if you want to stay an outpatient, when you come back on July 2nd, you got to have good reports.
Okay,
Yes.
I will.
If you're messing up and there's all kinds of problems, it's going to be inpatient.
It won't be no mess-ups.
We should fund that.
My husband's got it.
Okay, all right, because she's going to call you in about 15 minutes.
Okay, so, and I'll do no contact orders on both. So I don't know if you put that in the first one. Okay, and identical sentence on the B case. With the same review date, July 2nd. Okay. Do you know what you got to do? I want her to meet also with Mr. Major. She can take the call from Taylor. Probably be a good idea if she was in there.
Okay, so she'll go to probation, so
Go to probation, call, talk to Taylor. She's going to get you set up. Taylor is the name of the person from Bethesda. It's going to get you in, get you set up. And I'm going to tell her we're going to try outpatient first. So you can keep working. Any questions?
No, Your Honor. Any questions?
Meet with Mr. Major, talk to Taylor, get into your counseling, come back July 2nd with good reports. That's what you need to do.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. So
Okay.
go over probation, okay?